Hi, my name is Angel Saxena. I'm a photographer from India and I especially love landscapes and nature. Recently, I switched to English so that all of you can understand the videos better. So, tag along as I show you the beautiful landscapes of the country, and I hope that you get some education out of it as well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, good morning, guys. Namaskar. It's getting a little chilly here in Bhopal city of Madhya Pradesh. I live in India. If you don't know, if you're not from the country, I'm trying to make videos in English, as you could hear in the intro. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about shutter speed. In the previous video, I talked about aperture. I'm trying to cover the very basics of landscape photography so that eventually we can discuss some more detailed, more complex topics as well, which will be a little technical, but you don't have to worry because even if you are a beginner or an intermediate or a professional even, I've got you covered and we're going to learn together and it's going to be fun. Today I am at a local reservoir. It's called Kalyasot Dam. I already have a previous video on this location, but the surroundings were different and basically the spot I am at is a little bit different from the previous video I shot here. So yeah, let's find some composition and then we'll talk about shutter speed as well. So the scene is like this. We have one dead tree over here. I have been photographing this dead tree for quite some time since I started my photography. Also, there is some open space here. There are some mini trees that are submerged under the water, and I can overlook some hills as well. There are some birds as well. Let's try to photograph it. We have one more bridge similar to this one. We can even go there once we are done with this dead tree probably. So let's take a picture and we'll talk about shutter speed a little ahead. Yeah. So to begin things with, I am going for a wider composition because I already had my wide lens on, my 15 to 35. I am right now at around 28 mm. Now, whenever you talk about shutter speed or aperture or ISO, these things that are under the exposure triangle, you can't just talk about one thing and leave the others completely. So similarly, since I'm trying to get a shot at f11, I can't just keep my shutter speed whatever I want to keep it, right? But there are also some waves, some ripples, some minor current happening in the water. So if I go for a very slower shutter speed, then all of these things are going to be very smooth. If I want it, then it's good. Otherwise, I would have to go to a faster shutter speed. That will mean that I have to change my aperture as well. My aperture will have to be a little broadened for that purpose, or otherwise I will have to use ISO, and I am not going to use my ISO right now. Why? I will talk about that in the next week's video probably, why you don't have to, why you shouldn't use ISO until unless you have to, obviously. So let's take one shot at, well, I'm at f11 and I'm getting a shutter speed of 0.6 seconds. Of course, at ISO 100. Now, do I need a polarizer? Maybe not. So this is my composition. I am keeping the tree in the left thirds. I am liking this highlight over here, so I'm not going to polarize it, otherwise the scene will get very flat and then there will be no contrast for the tree itself. So I'm not going to polarize this scene. Now I also have these other trees on the right thirds and some diagonal lines on the background. So I am quite liking this composition. Let me check if it is leveled properly or not, and then we can take this shot. Yeah, so it's leveled. I'm going to switch to photo mode now, and I'm of course going to turn off my image stabilization because I am on a tripod and the shutter speed is a little bit slower and it can get some motion blur if I don't turn it off. And 2-second timers, here we go. One more shot for safety. I think I shook it just a little bit because 2 seconds is a little slower, but I like to keep it that way. I was more careful this time. Yeah, 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 good enough. Let's try to take one macro shot of the tree, maybe with this lens and or maybe with the 85 mm, and then we can move towards the next bridge or maybe to that side. Now this won't work. I'm going to change my lenses. Wait a second. Alright, so before I put my camera back on the tripod, I want you to subscribe to my channel because I really need it. I'm closing up the gap to 1000 subscribers and it really means a lot for us small YouTubers that you guys subscribe to us and likes and comments and everything. Those things really mean a lot to me. So thank you so much if you have done it already. Otherwise, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also, if you like to see such landscape photography content, I already have 24 other videos of the same category. I have a playlist down there. You can go and check it out. This is the 25th video, obviously. You can check that on the title as well. I name them with hashtags 24, 23, whichever video they are. Yeah, this is much better now. And I'm thinking maybe I can get a vertical composition, but let's try horizontal first. Vertical because, wait, I'll show you. This is the frame I'm getting for with the horizontal composition. If I go vertical, then I can see more of this reflection, obviously. So let's try what will work better. And obviously, I didn't change the shutter speed in the wider shot because I liked it. I didn't mind it, you know. But we can change the shutter speed this time because with the close-up shot we are going to see the ripples much more prominent. So I think I'm going for a faster shutter speed to begin things with and then we can see. भैया आप कुछ फेंकने आए हो क्या? अगर आप फेंकने आए हो तो पन्नी मत फेंकना प्लीज़. पन्नी वापस लेके जाइएगा, रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ आपसे मैं. So I'm getting something like this if I go for a vertical composition. I think this works much better, but I'm getting a little bit of the background which I want to eliminate now. I want to keep this composition to the water itself. I want to limit it like that. So maybe I'll move a little bit towards this side and I think I can get something now. Let's see. I'm going to go handheld for a while. Or you know what, maybe I can just crop it. Yeah, I think I can crop it. That will work. Yeah, it has to work. So I am going to crop it from here and I think that will work very well. So I have the 85mm 1.4 on right now. I can go up to 1.4 but I am not going to do that. I'm going for f2.8 which will give me a rough shutter speed of 1/50th, which is going to be appropriate for the ripples and the current in the water. I'm not going for a very faster shutter speed, otherwise I will have to boost my ISO a bit, which we are not going to do. Alright, so I'm going to take the shot. The ripples are beautiful. 2-second timer. Image stabilization is turned off. Okay. Yeah, it's all right. Let's take one more with something like f8, or let's go for f11 only, and maybe you can see the difference as well with the shutter speed changes. Okay, now I'm getting an exposure of 0.4 seconds with f11 and ISO 100. Let's see what difference it makes. Of course, the tree is going to be sharper. When you narrow your aperture down to that, you do get a sharper image. Just like your eyes, when you squint, you do see images very sharp, right? You can squint and you can see things a little bit clearer. That's what the camera does as well. So and yeah, there's a difference in the water, and I do not like it. I like the ripples that were coming first, so I'm going to keep the f2.8 image for this particular scene, and yeah, you can see the difference what shutter speed can make. You have to choose the preference that you want to go for. That's the most important thing with shutter speed and even aperture. Uh, let's go across the bridge, shall we, and take the image of that tree that I'm seeing from here. Maybe that can be interesting, then we can move forward as well. Let's see if even there is a composition or not. Otherwise, why waste time on it? I'm on the 85 already, which is what I wanted to be at. The subject is a little far ahead. I would like a much more telefocal lens for this one, which I don't have. Yeah, I mean, I can take the shot, but it won't be as good as I wanted it to be. It's not that close up as much as I'd like. So let's skip this. Let's go to the next bridge. Uh, let's see if there is something for us or not. What can we do? Sometimes you just don't get a composition. You can see it from your eyes with your eyes, but the camera doesn't do it for you. Or maybe you don't have the right lens, which I don't right now. Yeah. Yeah. This is much better. These trees are beautiful. The reflection is beautiful. It's not distracting. I don't mind the ripples as well, and the lighting is perfect. I think you can take this shot. This is a fairly good composition. Uh, yeah, I think this focal length also works for it. Going wider, I will have to go to at least a 35. That won't be good for this particular scene. Let's take one image at this. I'll talk about the settings. Wait a second. Yeah, so now because the exposure is stronger, the sun is out. Even at f11 and ISO 100, I can't shoot at slower shutter speed. I will have to go to 1 by 50th, which is great. The scene that I'm getting is a little golden warm, which is great. I think I like that look. Yeah, let's take this shot. Now, because these are trees that have leaves, I'm going to go at a particular magnification, and I'm going to use the manual focus on the lens. Although it's very far ahead and it won't really matter, it's a silhouette essentially because the sun is over in that direction only. But still, Alright, so the focus is locked. I'm ready to take the shot. There are some bushes behind me. I can show you. Wait a second. I'm talking about these bushes. The sun is hitting them directly. I think I can make some composition out of that, or maybe with these trees which are glowing right now. The reflection is beautiful, but I will have to change my lens. So let's go to the car and get the lens that I need. What a beautiful morning. Uh, it has been some time since I came out to shoot anything. I couldn't find any location to go to. Bhopal as a place is saturated for me right now. I can't think of places to go. I can only think of reservoirs. But I had to shoot something today. I really wanted to. So here I am. And I'm enjoying it, of course. That's the beauty of it, that you do enjoy when you go out, essentially. Going for a slower shutter speed because I'm at f11. So with this 15 to 35 mm lens, I can take this whole bush area in one frame. I was hoping to isolate these trees, but I don't have a focal length in between 35 and 85, so I will have to use the whole scene, which is fine, which is not a problem. Uh, the the composition does look good. I do not mind the hill over there. It's looking fine. There are some telegraph poles in the water that are slanting also. You can see the one is there, one is somewhere there which is out of the frame. That is good. All right, let's take this shot. I'm at f11. I'm getting an exposure of 1/13th for shutter speed, and I'm at ISO 100. Alright, so let's talk about what is shutter speed. As you see, I took some images at 0.4 seconds, 0.6 seconds. This one was at 1/13th of a second. I took one faster shutter speed shot at 1/50th of a second. So as you can see, these shutter speeds are counted in seconds and fraction of seconds, mostly in fraction of seconds in day-to-day life. In landscape photography, you would want some longer shutter speeds like we have gone for today. Let's talk about what is the purpose of a shutter. Well, a shutter is a mechanical thing over the sensor of your camera. In every camera, mostly. These days, we are getting some shutterless cameras, but let's not talk about those right now. Let's talk about the basics, right? My camera has a shutter. The purpose of it is to open and close in fractions or in longer duration of time. Now the amount of time that the shutter takes to open and close, that's your shutter speed, which will indicate how much light you are intaking in your camera. If you are going for a faster shutter speed, the light is going to be reduced, it's going to be less. If you are going for a longer shutter speed, a slower one, then you're going to intake a lot of light. Similarly, like aperture, right? We talked about aperture, how it opens and it closes, and you can change the light according to that. Similarly, you can do that with the shutter speed. Now, if you want to still a subject, then you want to open it and quickly close it down. So that means a faster shutter speed, like we did with the ripples, right? Now, when you want to blur out everything that is not still, and if that's something that you want to do, you can go for a longer shutter speed, which we also did today. But in that case, you will need a tripod so that all the things that are static, they don't move at all in the image. And everything that is moving, like it can be water, it can be trees, it can be people, they all will go blur, and that will make your image have a distinct look if you are going for it. Yeah, so I think this is it for this week's video. I hope you got something about shutter speeds in general, and especially when you are taking landscape images. I do not have a preference with shutter speed. I just eyeball it or check the light meter according to the aperture, or maybe if I have to use a longer shutter speed for a subject that can be affected by it, then I will go for an ND filter. which will make the light go darker, and then I can use a shutter speed to have some longer exposures. Well, it totally depends what kind of image you want. And yeah, I'll see you in the next week's video. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can. If you're liking my content, hit the like button and comment down below to let me know your feedback. And if anything you want to know, you can also comment that down below. I will see you in next week's video. Till then, thank you for watching.